Hi, scholars, and welcome to English 555 Composition Theory and Teaching here at Southern New Hampshire University. I'm Dr. Marlon Harrison, but please feel free to call me Marlon. And I've been teaching at Southern New Hampshire for over 10 years now. So this will be very, very brief. I just want to highlight your main deliverables throughout the course, where they fall in the course, as well as how you and I are going to work together, okay? So this will be 7 minutes. Here we go. Let me make my face smaller. So I know that other instructors at Southern New Hampshire, because I am also a graduate student at Southern New Hampshire, use their announcements simply to summarize what you need to do. I'm not that teacher. You have to read the announcements in this course because I'm sharing with you materials and resources that you will use in your actual milestones, examples from past students so you can see what you need to be doing in your milestones, as well as clarifications, instructions, so on and so forth. So this is the class where you have to read the announcements, and I will share the announcements in our weekly discussions as well. So for example, over here, we can see that I have already posted these. So if you have any questions about these announcements, if you have comments, if you want to talk more about it, float ideas, use the discussion pinned announcements to ask those questions. So again, don't skip the announcements. Now, week 6, week 7, and week 9 are when you have your major milestones for this course. Let's take a look. This class is all about teaching writing, but let's be clear, this is not about teaching creative writing. This course requires you to think about and plan actual course materials for a college composition course. This is so important. I will tell you this 12 million times. This is not about teaching creative writing, although sometimes creative writing does show up in college composition classes. We'll get to that later in the course, but very important that you understand this entire schedule, this entire course is about you thinking back to when you were a college level writer and what you learned, how you learned it, what worked for you, and what you can take with you into your own teaching today. Okay, question that I get from everybody all the time: why are we required to take a pedagogy course as part of our English master's degree? Here's the short answer. The most hired position for adjuncts at the college level is college writing professors. So in order for you to make some money off this degree, even if you don't necessarily love teaching, if you want to get your feet wet, grab an online course, you need to have completed at least one graduate level course and passed it on your transcript so that a university can hire you, because that is the requirement by accreditation bureaus for universities and colleges. Their instructors must have taken one course in the class they are teaching. So this is that class that will allow you to make some money teaching writing in your future. So what are these main deliverables that we just talked about? Well, let's see. Right here in Module 2, you can see your first milestone is about your personal theory. So essentially, you will be developing a teaching philosophy of teaching college-level writing based upon your own ideas of what works for you as a writer, hence your personal theory. Now, in week 4, you will be exploring your strategy inventory. In other words, what strategies might you utilize to support learners in your classroom? Okay, so right here in week 5, we're just reminding you that, look at that, week 6, that is your first major project, your personal theory and your strategy. So your teaching philosophy, this is why I think I want to teach in this way, and strategy inventory. So based upon these major challenges that students might face here are some of the strategies I might use to teach writing in these cases. Now, moving forward, you can see that your final project 2 milestone is your instructional plan. So you are actually going to design a college level writing workshop, module, unit, however you conceive of it, but it must fit within an English college composition writing class. And so that's what all of my announcements and what your textbook will help you understand. What is a college writing class? What are students supposed to learn there? How do I know this? We're going to teach you all of this. So you can see that in week 7, you've got your plan draft, but in week 9, you have the actual instructional plan due. So now let's take a look at the course. So you can see my announcements, right? Here's how to get started. I'm going to explain to you what we're doing. I'm going to offer you some strategies for your discussions. I'm going to make examples in your discussions so you can see what should a discussion post in Marlon's class look like. You will have examples posted for you. I'll even bring in some real-world examples of what does this look like for teachers and students in an actual composition class. Other announcements that I'm sharing: how do Ivy Leagues approach writing pedagogy? Because this week we're talking about writing pedagogy. So let's take a look at some actual examples. But what is andragogy? We need to discuss this as well, because realistically, more of us will be andragogues than pedagogues. What are students supposed to learn in a college writing class? Here's your guide, and here are your examples of those major deliverables. So students, it's a pleasure to meet you. I look forward to working with you. I'm a texter. Text me with any questions that you have. Don't sit in silence. Feel free to reach out. I'm here when you need me. Bye, everybody.